Today's invocation will be with the best invocator in the room, Daryl Skiles.
Our Father in heaven, we bow before you in this beautiful day. Thank you for the opportunity to gather together as Rotarians and guests. We're grateful for the many blessings we receive at thy hand and by living in this room. We thank you for the food. Pray that thou bless it to our bodies and strength, and that we might enjoy our association in the program that we presented to us today. And do so in the name of thy Son.
And pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And today's song was supposed to be with Chris Rothenbuehler, but she was unable to make it in person. So we're going to sing You Are My Sunshine, just the first verse, in honor of the summer months fading away. So, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. All right, you can be seated. All right, do we have any visiting Rotarians today? Visiting Rotarians, any guests of Rotarians?
I was fortunate enough to have my daughter Haley McMahon come and join us, Daryl Skiles' granddaughter. And she also, one of the conditions was that she would bring my grandson, Lou McMahon, and Daryl's great grandson. So happy to have him.
I think Sheena has a guest, if someone can take her a microphone. Thanks, guys.
I have Finley Jane with me today, and she's overtired, so we might be leaving early.
All right. All right, well, welcome to all of our visitors. We love having you here. Let's move on to club business. First and foremost, a very important announcement. If you are on the membership committee, and you should know who you are, we are the ones that usually meet out at the hospital early in the morning. You will be meeting with Chris at the back table today, right after the meeting. So please move to the back table after the meeting. Don't forget that we have the golf scramble this evening. Tee off starts at 4. Cheryl will be there getting dinner ready. I hope you're all signed up and ready to participate. I can't wait to see who wins the trophy this year. I have a feeling that it might be a little more competitive than usual from what I hear. And next week we have the barbecue at Riverfront Park. So the information on the times and everything is in the email. And in October, just a reminder, instead of having a 5th Thursday evening meeting, we are going to be handing out candy to the little tykes down at one of our past projects at Hammer Heritage Square. Everyone should bring a bag of candy on the 24th. So we have plenty of candy and know how much we have. So we know if we need to buy any more. There's about 500 kids. So we're hoping to have some good candy to hand out on behalf of Rotary. And are there any other announcements? All right, then let's do a raffle.
All right, so the first number that we have is number 38. 38. Second number is number 62, 62. $25 cash. There you go. Number 10, 1-0.
Aren't you glad you came today, Aldi? Good job.
All right.
All right. Now we have Sergeant at Arms with Chief Wagner, I believe, is taking this week.
Okay, so thank you to Ruth who set me up with a nice set of questions, but I'm gonna save those till next week.
Good.
I have some, tonight is the first night of the NFL. So with the kickoff of that, I've got some Seahawks trivia here and some local football. We'll start with table 1 here. When were the Seattle Seahawks founded? Another one. What year, or who was the MVP of Super Bowl 48? Answer is Malcolm Smith, $2. What year did the Seattle Seahawks win their first Super Bowl? Answer 2014, $2. Who was the Seahawks' first head coach? Correct, Jack Patera. Who is the Seahawks' all-time leading rusher? Bam. What year did the Sedro Woolley High School win their last 2A state football title? Correct, 2014. And the score? (28-24). $42-13, $2. $2. Okay. When, this is for Danny, she's gonna know this one. When was the first Apple Cup ever? Oh, it's not an Oregon question. I would say how many championships do they have football, but we know what that is. First Apple Cup ever between the Huskies and the Cougars. Bricka. $1, 1900. Close. What division were the Seahawks in before they were in the NFC West? Correct. Okay. Do you have anybody online? Oh, the can's on here. Who is the first player in Seahawks history to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Correct, Steve Largent. And who is the Seahawks all-time? Oh wait, I already did that one. Who was the former Seahawks safety that was also part of the Legion of Boom?
Oh, video cut out for the question.
Who is the Seahawks safety that was part of the Legion of Boom?
They're currently Googling the answer.
Earl Thomas is correct, Jeff. Okay. Happy Bucks?
Happy Bucks, yeah.
Any Happy Bucks?
I have to Venmo 10. It's good and bad news. We have to move our event from September 21st to January 18th because Edgar Martinez got a job. So he's coming on January 18th, same as the McIntyre Hall. Tickets for sale. It's going to be a good night. And we still want to do the big check handout.
Perfect. Chris?
Last Monday, my son and his daughter welcomed our first grandson into the world, Landon William, at 9 pounds and 15 ounces.
I was gone last week because we went camping up in Canada at Oyama Lake, had 50 family up there, took 17 of their sites and got rained on, but we all made it up the hill and down the hill with our brakes and transmissions intact, so that was good.
Not only having my granddaughter and great grandson here, but over the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 new great grandchildren born into our family, making 23.
I have a happy announcement, Buck. The Sedro Woolley Alumni and Schools Foundation is hosting their summer harvest concert, not this weekend, but next weekend, September 14th. We're featuring the Troy Fair Band, Double Barrel Barbecue will be there, and Cryo Rolls dessert from Bellingham. The funds that we make at this event go to support classroom grants throughout the Sedro Woolley School District. To date, we've given over a little over 430,000. So they cover everything from PE equipment to books to microscopes. So if anybody's interested in attending, we'd love to see you there. It's at Eagle Haven Winery. So thank you.
I have a happy 10. We know Baja Bridges received notification from Rotary International yesterday that we have received an international grant for cancer detection and treatment for Baja, Mexico, where we primarily serve.
And I got a 20 for a couple of different things. Grandson starts kindergarten this week, and I don't know how he's going to make it on the school bus. He fell asleep in the truck between Clear Lake and home last night. But also, I'm part of the Clear Lake cabin build with Mark Nielsen, and our whip cracking supervisor, Sylvia Matarin. We were up working on the cabin, having a really good time. Really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
Archery elk season started.
All right, I'd like to have Tim come up to welcome our speaker. And if we have any early leavers, feel free to make yourself scarce now.
Great, thanks, Ruth. I'm happy today to introduce you guys to Joe Frank. He's the president of the Concrete Youth Sports Association. And Joe is a fourth generation resident of Concrete, having grown up in the area and graduated from Concrete High School in 2003. Some of you might know Joe and his family. They owned and operated Albert's Grocery for over 72 years up in Concrete before selling the business just a few years ago. And Joe is the founding member of Concrete Youth Sports Association, and he's also been with the Bellingham Fire Department for the last 16 years. So he's here to tell us about what the association's doing. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me here, Tim, and everybody who is a part of this. Let me get my notes out here just so I don't miss anything. So my name's Joe. I have lived and participated in a lot of the community of Concrete for several years. And my family raised me with the belief that we should always be giving back. Any way you can, give back. My kids got into their sports years, and I quickly realized that youth sports were hurting in the Concrete community. And I believe that we should do something to organize it, to make it easier, to make it affordable, and to make parents and providers of the kids able to volunteer their time, because that's difficult. Everybody is working a lot, and to take on a head coach of a sporting team is daunting, especially if you don't have a huge background in any of that stuff, which in the Concrete area, the pool is small. So whatever we can do to make it better. So I got together with some of the head coaches. The undersheriff, Chad Clark, was running the football program for 23 years, doing a fantastic job of it, and asked me if I would be willing to take it over. And that's when I realized how siloed all the sports were in Concrete and how many duplications there were. It's kind of that way in bigger cities also, but they have the population to help support that, where we really do not in the upper Skagit County area. So we got together and created Concrete Youth Sports Association with the goal of helping kids play. And that is it, plain and simple. Whatever we can do to get the kids out on the play fields, on the basketball court, we are there to make it easy and affordable for them. We believe that sports play a huge part in a young child's life, especially in a low-income area, to help develop sound character and make them employable later on. We also believe that we're a feeder program to the high school programs. Our high school programs have been in a big decline over the last few years. When I graduated, we had a varsity JV and C team in football in 2003, and now we're playing 8-man football, bringing 8th graders up to fill the squad, and it's sad. And think back to your days in high school where it's intimidating. That first day of high school is super scary. And to play on a team for your very first time, your high school year at 13 or 14 years old against dudes with beards, that's scary, you know, especially to learn the sport and to learn how to take direction from a coach and all that stuff. So we want to take that out. We want to make them coachable early on. And we believe that coming together as one association to make it easy and provide curriculum for coaches, keep it safe and update all the equipment is huge. And we've seen the success of it since 2021. So I was long-winded, I'm sorry. I'm a talker. Our area, Concrete School District, big school district. We dip into Whatcom County in a few places, up in New Halem and Baker Lake area. Kids come from all over. Our student population from K through 12, that's kind of our majority of focus. Concrete Youth Sports Association hosts ages from 4 to 14, but like I said, the football program pulls a lot of those 13 and 14-year-olds up to play high school ball. Baseball, same thing. But we do offer that age range from 4 to 14 with most of our sports. K through 6 is a majority of our registration, our registrants. For the last 3 years, Concrete School District has had about 300 kids. This year it's 330. At the start of the year, yesterday was their first day and they had 330 kids. So that's about our target population. And we see that with registrations. Most of these kids are multi-sport athletes. So we have 300 kids in school, but there's 350 registrants every year based on their all 4 sports that they're playing or whatever. So the entire school district sits at hit the threshold of poverty to provide a free lunch to all kids that go to school. So my kids who probably don't need a free lunch get a free lunch at school every year. And so that's just the type of clientele that we are working with and trying to provide for. And 29% of those students, 29% come from a single parent household. And that is difficult on many levels, not only economically, but just trying to get that kid to practice is difficult. We've all probably experienced our spouse leaving for the well-deserved vacation away from their husband, wife, or kids. And it's a big workload that your significant other takes off of you with those kids. So now you have this family with a couple of kids, one parent trying to make all of these practices. We get it. So we do what we can to help get them transportation to their games and to practices whenever possible. It takes a core though. It takes a core group of great humans that want to do this work, and they do it all for free. We're very fortunate with that. National child poverty rate is 5.2%. Our school district sits at the 13.7% level. This is in the 2022 census. It could vary obviously a little bit there. So we have a huge underserved population up there that we are targeting to help bring them into sports, make them coachable, and make them employable later on. If anybody has questions, feel free to stop me. I can ramble. I will get to you as soon as I notice it. So our programs we offer 7 programs: baseball, football, cheer, wrestling, volleyball, basketball, and soccer. Soccer's new. We haven't had youth soccer in 20 years up there. We started it last year with some camps. And this year we had 40 kids register, which is a gain from last year. Not enough to really be competitive, but we do have one team. Our program manager was able to work with the Sedro Woolley Youth Football League, and we have one team that's going to join the Sedro Woolley Football League so they can be competitive, which is exciting for us. We haven't had a middle school, high school soccer team in many years. They put it out there every year, but there's no interest because obviously they're probably scared. You guys have probably heard all the news about the bike park behind the silos there. Concrete Youth Sports Association worked in the background to help Stacy get all that stuff going. We did intend to actually run that entire program, but that was a lot of work. There's a lot of risk associated with it, something that we weren't really willing to take on, and hoping the city would step up and do it, which they have, along with Stacy's help. But we do have a plan of coming up with a bike club program for those individuals. Janicki was kind enough to donate a 20-foot storage container to Concrete Youth Sports Association. We've loaned that to the bike club so they can store all their tools, and Sinclair Oil donated 20-some bikes to the school district. So kids, there's a month out of every year that the PE teacher teaches how to ride bikes. So we think it's important that there could be an extracurricular activity of a bike club. And so we're working towards that as soon as everything kind of gets ironed out with the city. So 7 programs. There's 11 people on staff with the Concrete Youth Sports Association. There's 4 executive members, and then we have a PR manager who does all of our social media stuff, puts all the word out for us. And we have a concessions manager, which is really just a big fundraiser for us. We try to host a concessions at every event, every bigger event. And then a person in charge of every program. We do have rules associated with that. So we're not overworked, but they're able to run that program year round for fundraising, gear replacement, things like that. But we don't allow them to take on more than one program at a time so they can really focus on making that program great. The staff is incredible. They do a huge amount of work, all for free, all on their off time. And without them working all the extra hours, these kids would be definitely suffering. Funding, this is the big thing for us. As you can see from this graph, last year we took in $83,950 for all 7 sports. That funds all 7 sports completely. Only right around $22,000 of that was registrations costs. We're pretty proud of having the lowest registrations in a couple of counties for most all of our sports. Just as a comparison, like football is $150 for the kid, and Sedro Woolley's $350, Darrington's $200. So there's a big discrepancy there, but we try to do a lot with just a little bit of registration costs. A majority of that cost comes from our sponsorships, donations, grants, and fundraisers. $61,000 comes from the community essentially. And we don't have a big community to draw from. We have a tiny little community, and they do a great job of supporting us and stepping up right way, without hesitation, offered their services to come up and install an HVAC unit. Like, we have great people all around us all the time willing to step up. And when we can be the organization that's trustworthy and prompt, I feel like we get the support from the community. But I do have to reach out to other communities also, all the way up to Bellingham, to try to gain support and sponsorships from them. We rest right now. We rest right around $3,254 of open registrations. So families who haven't been able to pay their registrations, that's from 2022. The Lions Club, the Booster Club, they all provide money. They want to help families individually, not just the organization. So they'll pay down a lot of their registration costs, which is great. But we try to come up with ways. I'll pressure you one time for payment, and after that, I get it, and we'll work in any way we can to make that payment. A lot of people want to pay, but they just can't do it in a standardized way. So if they have $20, they'll give me $20, and that's perfectly okay by us. Challenges. This slide right here could be used for every business and program in every county. Volunteers, like trying to find people to volunteer is hard. We've done a great job of organizing programs, giving them a curriculum, a handbook, a timeline. They have everything they need to be successful as a coach or as a program manager. We have very great bylaws that we keep up to date that help people feel safe, help businesses feel safe with helping us with funding. And our program managers have all done a great job of updating their program manuals and making sure the curriculum is safe and current. Transportation, that's a huge thing for us. We've been working so many different angles. It ultimately boils down to just ride sharing with other parents, coaches going to get kids. I'm frequently just driving out to some of our communities on the other side of the river just to grab the kid for practice, because their parents work down here. Their parents all work out of town. To make it up to a 5 o'clock practice is impossible for them. So we're going out to get them. If they're not in Boys and Girls Club, we're trying to find another way for them to get to the practice after school. Funding is always an issue. The Skagit Community Foundation, that's how Tim was on the board, or still is on the board at the Skagit Community Foundation. And he found out about through Concrete Youth Sports Association for a grant that I applied for. Grants are a lot of work. There's quarterly reports that have to be done, and it's done by me. And I think Skagit Community Foundation feels so bad for me. I could probably fill it out with crayon and put anything on there and they'd give us the money anyways, but it still takes quite a bit of work, to sharpen that crayon and get that stuff submitted. So funding's a big deal for us. And that's how we make it available for all of the kids and not pressure the families or, put that stigma on the families of not being able to pay. And I think along with funding, the other biggest thing that we have, just because of the community that we are living in, is play fields. We are very fortunate that the Concrete School District allows us as a third party to use all of their facilities, all of their play fields without question. We hold an insurance certificate for that. Every year, Skagit Community Foundation so far has paid for, with their grant, our insurance every year, so we don't have to pass that cost on to the kids. And they only have a part-time athletic director who is also the part-time field maintenance person. So trying to keep up all of those grounds on his own is pretty much impossible. So we do, of the 6 baseball fields, we provide 100% of the maintenance for 4 of those fields, and probably about half of the maintenance on the other 2 for baseball and soccer. and then the football field, I'm leaving here today to go mark out the football field and paint it tomorrow morning for our game on Saturday, because the school district doesn't have the time to maintenance that stuff. So we do a lot of play fields. There's no play fields in concrete other than a baseball field that we helped renovate and keep up on. And now they just took it on themselves, but they don't have they don't have the full-time employees to focus on their parks and play fields. So it's constantly overgrown. And we do what we can to help support them also. But we have a great relationship with the mayor. We have a great relationship with the school district, and we're able to make it work, but it takes a lot. One of the things that I just became aware of is a grant for up to $1.2 million. It's from the Washington Recreational and Conservation Office. And Darrington actually was awarded it a few years ago to build a baseball field across from Hampton Lumber. And I'm hoping to start studying that and educating that. And actually, my overall goal is to try to find a meeting with our East County Commissioner, Mrs. Lisa Janicki, to hopefully figure out maybe a parks department can come up there, find land and maintain that for us. But obviously that's not something I can do overnight. It's the slow building blocks of trying to come up with something. But the way the school district is going and the staffing numbers at the school district with the budget stuff, we have to come up with another plan to provide play fields for these kiddos and facilities. I kind of burned through that pretty quickly. It's hot in here, I get it. Let me know if you have any questions. I do truly appreciate your guys' time. We're a small community, but we're mighty, and it takes all of us to make it successful. So thanks so much.
You have to. On behalf of the Rotary Club, we'd like to present you with this amazing keychain with a 4-way test on the back.
Perfect.
And thank you so much for coming, and let us know how we can help.
Appreciate that.
All right, thanks so much.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, yeah.
So, Joe, is there anything in your community other than sports that these young kids can do? Or is really sports their only outlet?
Yes. Small community. There's not a lot of places to go. We have the ice cream shop and no other opportunities. Boys and Girls Club has been great, but that's about 30 kids that can take advantage of that program for after school. Other than that, a lot of these kids, that's what they look for year round, is their sporting event. And we're fortunate enough that they only have about a month break, July, where there's no sports offered. August, soccer and football starts up, and it goes all the way through baseball towards the end of June. And a lot of these kids, 29% from a single family, a single parent home, that's what they look forward to. They're not going on elaborate vacations. They're not going down to Woolley for anything. They're looking for their sports, these youth sports, and that's what they live for. That's how they get through high school. Once they're set up in high school and they feel comfortable to play these sports, the only reason why they're getting passing grades is so they can roster for that football game on Friday night. And if they don't have that early on, that structure early on, they're not going to participate, and they're going to flounder, and they're not going to get their diploma. So to have youth sports in an area in that poverty line is crucial for their success later on.
It sounds like this is almost a must for this type of community. If you want these kids to have any chance, they have to have this kind of outlet for.
We believe so. And there's nothing else up there. I mean, there's no other show. The 4-H, they show cats. And that's no dig. There's just no people up there to take this stuff on, you know, and youth sports is a gateway to their high school sports. And without that foundation, you know, from 4 to 14 years old, they're too intimidated, you know. Thanks, Tom.
And now the moment I know you've been waiting for, Doug Wood.
Well, this one comes from my relatives back in North Carolina. So 2 rednecks are gone hunting. They walk along, they find a large hole in the ground. They approach it and amazed by the side. The first hunter said, "Wow, that's some hole. I can't even see the bottom. Wonder how deep it is." Second hunter said, "I don't know. Let's find something and throw down there and see how long it takes to hit the ground." So they go around and find an old gearbox. They haul it by hand and we'll throw it in and see. They throw it up 1, 2, 3. They throw it in. They were standing there listening when they heard this big rustling coming out of the bushes. And then they saw a goat run out and then run off her and jump head first down in the hole. They were amazed. They look at each other, see what happened. When an old farmer walks up. To say there, said the farmer, "You fellas happen to see my goat around here anywhere?" First hunter said, "Funny you should ask. We were just standing here a minute ago. A goat came running out of the bushes and jumped 100 miles an hour and jumped head first into the hole." The farmer said, "That's impossible. I had him chained to an old gearbox."
That's just a pleasure. All right. Are there any other announcements? Remember the membership meeting today, right after the meeting. If everyone can help put up the tables and chairs, that would be fantastic.